Welcome back to another cooking adventure with Vic. Today we're going to prepare Hollandaise sauce using a food processor. But before we get into that, I'd like to tell you about two wonderful wines that can be used as gathering wines or food wines. The first one I'd like to tell you about, which is a great gathering wine, is this Austrian Paul D. Gruner Veltliner. It's an off-dry, wonderfully perfumey wine that will go well with just about any appetizer. It's a great warmer-upper for dinners. The other one I'd like to tell you about is from California, Sonoma County. It's by Ferrari Carano, and it's a Fumé Blanc. Now this Fumé Blanc is not grassy, and it's not smoky in spite of its name. It's a wonderful, wonderful food wine that can also be used as a gathering wine. Well, the main ingredient in Hollandaise sauce is butter, melted butter. I like to use unsalted butter, and the reason I like to use unsalted butter is twofold. First, I can control the amount of salt in my sauce. Two, unsalted butter has got to be good. It's got to taste good. There's no way of covering bad butter or the taste of bad butter with salt. So I always use unsalted butter. The other major ingredient is egg yolks. The recipe calls for 3 egg yolks. I have 2 egg yolks here, and I'll show you how to separate the yolk from the white with the 3rd egg. The other ingredient is freshly squeezed lemon juice. Another ingredient is mustard. I like to use Dijon style mustard. I like the flavor of Dijon style mustard. Finally, I have a little bit of salt. I like to use non-iodized salt. Iodized salt tend to have a slightly bitter taste. And going back to the eggs, I use sterilized eggs. Now you can purchase sterile eggs in the grocery store, or you can sterilize them yourself using a Clorox and water solution. So let me show you how to separate an egg yolk from an egg white. Carefully break the shell, like that. And then slowly open the egg. The egg white flows into the cup, like so. And now you have a separated egg yolk ready to go. The other important thing to remember is your melted butter. Make sure your melted butter, whether you melt it in the microwave or on the stove top, is not too high. Egg will begin to curdle at 145 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's important that your melted butter is well below that temperature. We can warm up the Hollandaise sauce safely in a water bath, and we'll do that last. So here we go. First the egg yolks. Then the lemon juice, salt, and the mustard. Now in the next step, I'll cover the food processor. I'll remove the plunger because I'll be pouring the melted butter through the hole here. The machine will make a lot of noise, but the basic process is to add enough melted butter until you achieve the consistency and the sauce that you like to have. It could be a little on the soft side, or it could be a harder sauce. It could be the consistency of mayonnaise or very, very heavy cream. So here we go. poured in about half the butter, and I want to show you that the consistency of the sauce is still very liquid. Watch this. See how liquid it is? Although it is thickening up, it's not the consistency I like to have yet. More butter is needed. I've almost put in the entire amount of melted butter. So let's take a look at its texture now. Isn't this beautiful? Much thicker than before, but I think I'll put in the remainder of the butter because I like to have my sauce really thick. I've put in the entire 3 melted sticks of butter. Let's look at the texture now. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? I'll be serving this Hollandaise sauce over asparagus tonight, and this texture is just wonderful. Absolutely delicious. To warm up the sauce to serve it at dinner time, by the way, you can refrigerate this Hollandaise sauce for hours before the meal, and then warm it up very slowly in a water bath. And this is how this works. What I have in this pan is simmering water, just below simmering, not a rolling boil. Very warm water. And I place this metal bowl over the warm water and carefully stir it. Stir the sauce with a spatula, like so, until the sauce warms up to the proper temperature. Doing it this way will guarantee that the sauce will not separate. Enjoy.